Hey, 2018, the calculator paper, it's slightly longer than non-calc paper, an hour and a half. I think we've got 70 marks for this. Yeah, 70, the last one was 60. So, I thought that's quite good. A few extra marks on the calculator paper. People usually feel more comfortable with the calculator paper. So yeah, let's carry on. So part one, you see a shaded area under a curve, you should immediately be thinking integration. So when I integrate, I'm looking to integrate my curve, my function. I'm just going to write it in the correct order. Negative x squared plus 2x plus 3. You don't want to forget dx, you're integrating with respect to x, and your limits of 3 and negative 1. So going between 3 and negative 1. Remember, if this carried on like this and we wanted to know the shaded area in total, I would have to do this section separate because this would come out as a negative answer, which I would then add on. So for example, if this came out as 4 and this came out as negative 2, in total I would say I've got 6 square units of area. So just watch out for that one. You don't have to worry about going above and below the axis when you're doing between two curves. That sorts itself out. So between two curves, you don't have to go above the axis and below. It's going between two curves, so that's fine. Okay? But when you're going from the curve to the axis, it has to be above the axis, separate from below the axis. You also want this number here to be the highest number to be on top and the lowest number to be on bottom. Likewise, if that was negative 3, don't forget that negative 1 is higher than negative 3. So negative 1 would go here, negative 3 would go here. So right away, we've got ourselves our first mark. Then I want to say to myself, well, how do I integrate? Well, just remember, you're adding 1 onto the power and then dividing by the new power. So just something, put something down at the side just to remind you, because it can be confusing. You might get muddled up with differentiation. So you're adding 1 on and then dividing. And just double check, if I differentiate that, 3 times a third would be 1, take away 1, yeah, okay. So that's definitely correct. So adding 1 on and then dividing. So add 1 on, oops, very excited there. Add 1 on and then divide, add 1 on and then divide, and that becomes 3x. And in fact, sorry, I didn't have to do that. Oops. I've now integrated. So now I'll put it in my box and say that's 3 to the negative 1. On the next line, I think, fine, I'll do it now. I'll just do it now. I think I'll just call that 1. Just to tidy up. So now we're going to do our substitution. So we've got negative 3 cubed divided by 3. Now watch that negative is outside your bracket there. Be very careful with that. That's an easy place to lose a mark. Just 3 squared, isn't it? Because we've cancelled our 2's. 3 times 3. Okay, so there's our first bracket. And to that I'm taking away a substitution of 1. Nice. So just give that a wee check, have a look, see if that makes sense. I think I'm quite happy with that. Yep, looks good to me. So let's just go through then. So 3 cubed is 27. So that's going to be negative 27 over 3 plus 9 plus 9. At this point, I tend to just do one bracket at a time. So yeah, that's maybe just me, but negative 27 over 3 plus 18. And please keep this as tidy as possible as when you come to do your checking. It'll really make your life a lot easier. And I'll put 18 into thirds, so 24, 54. So that's going to be negative 27 over 3 plus 54 over 3. So it's going to come out as 27 over 3, which is just the same as 9. Oh yeah. Obvious. The penny is finally dropped. Oh, wow. All waste of time doing all those calculations for that. I should have really got that up here, but oh, that's funny. Oh well. Here we go. Negative 1 cubed, that's going to be negative 1, but it's a negative again, so that's going to become positive. Plus 1, take away 3. So I've got a third take away 2, so that's 1/3, take away 6/3, so that's going to be negative 5/3. And again, taking away, taking away, taking away. So actually, you know what I'll do here, that's in thirds, I'll just leave that as thirds. So I've got 27/3 plus 5/3 to give me 32/3. And don't forget your units squared. We're not told a unit, so yeah. So, I mean, not a hard question, I don't think, but it's taking your time to go through it. You know, make sure you set this up right. There's a good mark for this and a good mark for that. So right away, 1, 2, and 3 marks. All this is just worth 1 mark, you know. Yeah. So this is where the bulk of your marks are. Try not to make a mistake here. If you want, you know, you can come back and do this at the end of your paper if it's something you're weak at. There's still 75% to be had just for this section. Okay. So yeah, hope that's helpful.